Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Adam Jason. I'm the founder of BRRRR, and as a 10-year BRRRR investor myself, my goal is to help make it easier than ever before for you to do more projects and find that financial freedom that we all seek through the BRRRR strategy and investing in real estate. Whether it's through legal tips that I talk about or just practical considerations, things I've seen over the last 10 years, my goal is to always help take the uncertainty out of the BRRRR process and investing and give you the confidence so you can do more and more deals and obviously meet all your dreams for passive income, wealth, etc. Today, what I want to talk about is the top 5 things that I think you want to be including in the contracts that you sign with your contractors to have the greatest control possible over that relationship. You've all heard the horror stories of contractor delays, not showing up for work, not finishing projects on time, you name it. Our Facebook group and the forums that we have set up at BRRRR Invest, so much of the conversation is based around, do you know a contractor that you can trust? I had this issue, they didn't finish this work, they overcharged me, all these kind of things. My personal experience, having done this for 10 years myself and in my capacity as an attorney representing many clients who are doing lots of deals, my own real estate investment firm, we're working with massive contracting firms because the work we do is in the hotel space and they're building 40,000, 60,000 foot boutique hotels for us, and this is kind of what I do on a daily basis. So I want to take that knowledge and experience, put it into these kind of videos for you so that this whole process of buying real estate and executing on the BRRRR strategy is as easy as possible. So let's get into the list. Like I said, the top 5 things I think that you should be including in the next and every contract after that you sign with the contractors take on a project for you. First one, detailed scope of work. And for many people, they think that that is remodel kitchen, update bathroom. Those kind of loose definitions of what needs to be done. The one thing I found with contractors, and I'm sure there's ones that you've worked with who you thought were, let's call it, less than the most upstanding business person, but the one thing that I've seen consistently between good people, bad people, is contractors often are not as detail oriented as they should be. The problem with that is it leads to a lot of ambiguity in the relationship and the work that everybody is expecting to get done. So you might have a vision for the kitchen that you're doing that where the contractor can put in a scope of work, renovate kitchen, and that means one thing to them, which could mean something completely different to you. So at BRRRRinvest.com, we have available for you, if you'd like to see it, a scope of work that goes basically room by room of the house and line items, the items that you want to have repaired in connection with your renovation, obviously one of the stages of the BRRRR process. So, if you're doing the kitchen, you want to make sure what you're doing to the cabinets are really clear. Are you replacing them or are you painting them? What kind of floor are you putting in? What are the appliances and who's purchasing those? All those specifics where nobody can say at the end, oh, I didn't know that that's what you wanted, and you have somebody walking off the job site because they think they're done or the contract's not clear. It's really your job, I think, as the investor, and I put that onus on myself as an investor when dealing with contractors to be super precise, because I know the nature of how this goes and how contractors typically work. So any contract that you sign with a contractor should have a scope of work attached to it that they've initialed and you're all clear on as to exactly the work that's going to be done. The other provision I love including in my construction contracts is the right for me to be able to buy the materials for the project. A big part of the cost of hiring labor and construction is the upcharge that you often get hit with when the contractor is buying the materials for you. So they'll go to the store, flooring costs, let's say it's going to cost $2,500, you might pay $3,000 because they're upcharging you for it. Contractors don't always like this, and they can push back on it, but you as the investor, I think it's important that your contract with your contractor says that you have the right to purchase the construction materials. You're the one that they have to call when they're at Home Depot, and you're going to be able to tell them exactly what you want. The other benefit of that is if you're the one buying the materials, you also get the opportunity to learn what things cost. So on the next project that you do, you're not having to guess as much about what the rehab budget should be because you know the cost of materials. It's a great learning experience for you. Also, you can save money on the back end because, if you're using your credit card or however, you're going to be making an investment, but at the same time, you're going to have the cash to pay that back. So, if you save a couple $100 because you're getting things back in the form of airline points or discounts or whatever, those are all benefits that contribute to your ROI. And why should those go to the contractor when they should go to you? Word of caution, make sure that if you're going to do this, you're actually making yourself available to help the contractor. If it's a situation where they're going to go to Home Depot, get in the checkout line, find the materials and wait for you, you got to be there on the phone with your credit card ready to go when they're going to be making the purchase. Otherwise, this isn't really going to work, and you're not really kind of holding up your part of the deal. Number 3, I like to put in really strict penalty and incentive clauses for contractors. So what does this mean? And this one I think is really important to have done professionally and have the right legal language. And again, the construction contract that we have at BRRRR is available to you to use this. But what I like to do here is basically at the outset of the project, I like to agree with my contractor that the project is going to be delivered and ready to go in, let's say, 2 weeks or a month. Make sure that they agree to the date so that there's no saying like, oh, I didn't think that was going to actually be the date the project would be done or whatever. You're all going to hold each other accountable to that date. I found that if you build in an incentive provision, say a small percentage of the full amount of the construction work, 3-5%, your contractors are much more willing and urgent because of that extra compensation to get your projects done early, get them done on time. And it saves you money in the long run because you have less worry about, oh, there's going to be this huge delay and then it's going to require another extra month before I can get a tenant in and I'm going to lose money on that end. It doesn't really, you're better off paying a little more up front to take that worry off at the back end. At the same time, if your contractor has that option to them of being compensated better, they also should face the risk of, if they don't do the project on time, they get a portion of the payment reduced. So I'll usually say, okay, we're agreeing that it's going to happen in the next month. If you're a week late, then the amount that I pay you drops down 5%. So you got to find ways, I think, to motivate contractors to get that done, but you really want to have that legal language tight. Get it at BRRRR so that you're not guessing about it or it's not ambiguous and you end up hurting yourself with it. Just take the work that we've done and use it to your benefit. Number 4, right to inspect the work before it's considered to be done. You want to make sure that the contract that you have is clear, that you as the customer are the one that gets to make the final decision whether the project has been done to your liking and to that scope of work that you agreed to. The last thing you want to have happen is the contractor determines, and probably in good faith, but maybe not to the fullest extent of the work that you wanted done, that they make the determination that, okay, we did all our work, it's time to leave, we're ready for payment, we're leaving the job. You have to have the ability to do a walkthrough, do a reasonable inspection, and you're the one that signs off as to when the work is done. Don't take that out of your hands and put it in the hands of the contractor, which if you sign an agreement that the contractor gives you without reading it anything like that, that's the position you're likely to find yourself in. So use the contracts that we use that are investor friendly so that you're protecting yourself and you don't have contractors walking off jobs telling them that you now have to pay them when the work really is incomplete. The last one, number 5, make sure in the contracts that you have that the contractor that you're working with is assuming full responsibility for any subcontractors that they are working with. A lot of off-the-shelf contracts that you'll get from the general contractors will have them kind of waiving responsibility for their subs. So if they walk off the job or if things are delayed because of them, they're not getting penalized. That's not the way that works. The general contractor has to be the one who has diligenced the partners that they bring into the project. They're the professional. They're the one that has the direct relationship with the subcontractor. So they're the ones that has to do all that work to make sure that your investment's protected. If you're not using the right contract, odds are that contractor is going to have carved out responsibility in their template contract for those subcontractors. So use the right documentation, make sure you're protected. You know, the way this mostly works and what I see is people who, are getting ready to hire a general contractor will either use the contract that the general contractor provides, which I really think is a bad idea. They'll just find something on Google and change the names and sign them without even really knowing if that document is investor friendly. Or some people do go out and they'll hire an attorney who maybe makes them a template agreement. The problem you have there though is, unlike me, you're working with somebody who most likely is not a BRRRR investor. They're an attorney only, and they don't have the years of experience of knowing what can go wrong with all these projects. So they're unable to kind of predict the future because they haven't lived the past and they can't put legal language around that. So protect your investments. Come over to BRRRRinvest.com, use the construction contract that we have there available, along with all the other tools to be able to analyze deals, work with property managers, which we'll be talking about in another video, all those things so that you can rest easily at night, know that your projects are secure and that the work that you need to get done is actually getting done so you can get those projects rented, refinanced as fast as possible and get on to your next project. I hope this video has been super helpful to you. Make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with us and all the other videos we're putting out. Sometimes, like I said, they're legal advice in nature, sometimes they're practical advice in nature, but everything designed to make this process of using the BRRRR strategy fun and rewarding for you, and obviously have the financial impact on your cash flow and wealth creation that you're seeking. Thanks so much for being here. Again, my name's Adam Jason. Head over to BRRRRinvest.com, visit us over there, check out all the resources, get your construction contract templates so that you're always in the best place you can be with your portfolio, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.